All right, what's going on, man? Just want to holler at y'all real quick. It's your boy Hood hitting y'all up. It's been a nice little week, weekend. Hope y'all had a good one. All right, audio working. You know what I'm saying? The last one, the audio wasn't working on. So we had to go ahead and reset that thing, man. So what's up? Yo, it's been a crazy week for me. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? RIP to my little sister, Malika Hood. Yo, otherwise, the boy Diddy got a crazy situation going on. It's like massively crazy. You see the people still throwing super darts at the boy, trying to make sure he go down for this scenario dealing with that girl, and she really wicked with it because she got a team of people trying to smoke him, and ain't nothing he could do about it. You know what I'm saying? He put himself in one of those really dumbass situations where this girl could just throw these crazy angles. Y'all gotta wait a second. Yeah, it's like my tea. I'm real good. How about you? Yeah. Oh, well, I can't because I got Demon took off work today, and so we're gonna try to do something with the money. I don't know exactly what, and I'm doing some YouTube stuff, working and all that too. So yeah, yeah. But I just woke up like about an hour ago. Peppy, oh man, he okay? What's going on with him? Oh, right, right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, I appreciate. I hit you up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we got some June birthdays coming up, so I know you'll see you. Okay. That's all right. All right. That was number 1 minute. That's my auntie, and I can't not answer the phone. You know it is. You get auntie, you gotta answer the phone. They smack the hell out you. Anyway, Diddy going down day 6. What the haters saying? So I'm basically look at what's her boy name? Um, DJ Academics. He been doing a whole deep dive on it and like nonstop killing them on it. And that's like a lot of information because I've been rolling and moving, so I haven't been sitting still as much and not exactly knowing exactly what's going on with the case. But I do know that he should be beating this because he got some cold ass lawyers that ain't playing with these motherfuckers. Diddy got the best lawyers, and from what this sound like so far, it's just a bad relationship that the girl was in with him. But she never would break it off and continue just to let it end. She would keep popping out. So I'm just gonna listen up to dude for a minute. See what he got going. We'll see exactly what act.
Boy, oh boy, Ellen, I love
Ours doesn't app that you can train.
Can't wait.
Now, QR code on screen, and you.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
And then it will carry on there.
Yeah, yeah. Then no, I mean, the after party.
No, I know about them.
And years later, Combs said he wanted to attend one of Ellen's parties.
I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late. Because, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you, I'm not going to let you down on this big one.
All right,
For
good.
real.
Good.
Your shoes, your feet are going to have blisters. You're going to be dancing so hard.
I can't wait.
Now, the two seem to kind of dance around the apparently open secret that Combs' parties were beyond wild with reports of drugs.
Well, all that stuff will be
more.
You
And
can
as
have
the
a
allegations
party
against
at a
Combs
very
have mounted, many have called his
Why they
interviews with
driving
Ellen now.
at this guy with all these white people.
So,
get this
so
shit
no
in.
money on you.
I mean, it's just a little bit of money on me and me.
Oh, you do have money on you. Lord, have mercy. Where are you going after this? It's all 20s. Where are you going after this? What are you doing?
You know we doing what we plan to do, girl.
But I have to be clear about something. There is a difference between a wild party and something that is criminal. Okay, there's a difference between
There you
having
go.
a great time
Now talk to
and
real
something that's an illegal
I try to front
freak
like
off. And having said
white.
that,
See,
remember when I
always try to
told you about those
take my
freak
shit,
offs, right? Cassandra.
White people have been doing fucking parties since the beginning of time, man, and they know it. And they've been fucking rock stars and all that shit from the beginning of time, from Elvis Presley to Jerry Lee Lewis, and even before then. Not only do they do it in the music side, if white people can't make music, they'll fuck around and be athletes. There'll be WWE. There'll be, goddamn it, a circus. There'll be any damn thing. So they're going to bring in girls. They're going to have access to females from the Romans on up to now. So to sit in and say that Diddy is this whole horrific guy, you had the Playboy guy who was marrying girls 18, 19 years old. He was white, so it was okay. Playboy Mansion. Diddy took his whole ideology from that. He was just a black dude doing that. And it was guys before Diddy who did that. They probably wasn't on TV and known as far as media go, but it was a part of the world. So to all of turning on them now and then just over, and there ain't none of this Rico. All this just look like a bogus relationship that she chose to be her damn self. And she didn't have to be in that relationship. They say even up to the nigga, suppose she said he raped her, she came back to his crib and had sex with him again, which is like, what? How the fuck you even do that? But she did that because that's who she is. She's trying to be a victim. And that doesn't mean that he was perfect, because he did jump her, he beat her up and did all that little wild stuff. But he would assume that if you got jumped by a guy, this would be the last time he see you. But what Diddy really had was money. What Diddy really had was influence, and he had mental capacity to be successful. And that's hard, because who else she gonna back that? When you break up with, or she break up with somebody like that, who else she gonna get with? Who else is going to be in her life to make up for what Diddy could do for her? Nobody. So she going to always want to be with somebody like Diddy. Well, audio, we need to look at this on this one.
See, someone asked the question, is this also DV to a lover, you Diddy supporters, or this is clearly a pattern? Yeah, I think Diddy was clearly a violent individual.
But that don't mean he's a Rico.
Was he a sex trafficker? Again, I think violence is a part of that. Too difficult to really say at this point.
No, because that entails a person
thank you guys for
being
the
held
donations.
against a will of force.
Legendary says, play Charlotte's interview with Cassie about the leak. Oh. Cassie Charlemagne leak. Where is it?
So you can see they said now trying to put Diddy as a bogus person when that, and this bro had control over 99% of the situation. She's sitting up here getting the guys, as people she knew. You know what I'm saying? She had control. It's just like a bogus relationship. But I still fault him, because there's too many black women who you could have got with and had a chance and showed love to and made them be your woman. But you chose this chick for whatever your reasons is. And then you could see how she respond back when a black man choose her. She ain't got no love. She don't give a no fuck. And he should have been able to see that. You know what I'm saying? But being a guy that has so much, he was blinded by his work, blinded by his something. And he was out here doing wild shit. Let's see what the fuck they talking about.
Like Diddy wants to get on there, who can't rap. He's a great businessman, but his rap sucks. And for Red Cafe, my question for you is: has anybody ever told? I mean, I like your music. You sound, your music is hot, but anybody ever tell you sound like Obi Trice a little bit?
That's the first time I heard that. That's not the first time you heard Diddy suck, Red Cafe. Don't you tell that lie.
No,
I thought he said.
No. The question
Obi
for Red
Trice,
Cafe
man.
was that he sounds like Obi Trice a little bit, but for Cassie,
maybe Obi Trice sound like me though.
Oh yeah, true indeed.
Yeah,
true
indeed. And I
Well,
ain't mad at
indeed.
him. If I was him, I would want to sound like me too.
Okay, I ain't mad at that answer.
Right.
But for Cassie, when you got a hot album, when you feel like you got a song out that's really hot, and then Diddy comes in the studio, I don't know how that process works, but he comes in the studio, I'm like, yeah, that's hot. Let me throw something more on that. Does that bother you?
No, it didn't bother me, and I like the rhyme on the record. So.
Well, not just with that. Doesn't he have on your other song? He rapped on your other song too, didn't he?
My very first single you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, that was cool. I mean, because it had Jock on it. It was just like kind of like welcome me.
I don't give a fuck about this information, but I guess it's a whole interview.
Okay. Well, thank you. Good luck to your both
you.
albums.
Yep, dog. New Morning Beat with Charlemagne on 100.3 The Beat.
So none of that means shit to me. at the end of the day, the nigga shouldn't be going to jail for some bro trying to say that he did all this shit to her. And it really should be out, you know, that other people have done what Diddy done. Other people have been involved with girls, and the girls probably, you know, got treated some kind of way or had to agree to some kind of sexual activity that she probably wouldn't have agreed to in another situation. But she did it. You know what I'm saying? And by doing that, that won't make the guy a criminal or a killer. That just make her maybe not the smartest chick, or maybe somebody who need to dig deeper in her thoughts. They come up with a better plan of action, but they set the country up in the last 7 years to whereas if you do something disrespectful to a female, she get to come back later and even after what they call that statute of limitations and throw something at you and put you under the radar and even get you locked up. So Diddy stopped being just an ex-boyfriend to this chick, you know, 6 years of not being around that money. Like they broke up for 6 years before this case got started. So he feeling like, well, let me just go ahead and pay her this money. This is my ex. I used to be with her. I ain't gonna talk to her, but she want to sue me here. Take this and go and beat it. So that's not enough for her. So she like, nah, I'm gonna take you down. Not now. Now it's time for your demise. And you know, having white America support her, that's no way you can fight that back. So now he in court. Now he going down. Now he been, you know what I'm saying, be in prison for basically dating a venomous ass female. Then she go to the hotel where he jumped her, and she sued him. Now they said they gonna hit her with $10 million. So she done made $30-40 million in like a fucking 2 week span when she was broke as hell. She basically was living with her mother with a dude who didn't have no way near no money like Diddy. He's just a regular ass person, baby dead. And then she constantly being impregnated by the guy because she liked him. So this her ex. Now she ain't with Diddy no more. She with a new dude. So she just basically having babies by him, having a life that she thought she wanted at that point in her life, getting pregnant. So now she pregnant up. She got this kids by this guy, but ain't no money. So now they can sit back and say, we got to go find some goddamn money. And that's what they was able to go do. Diddy ass, you got the fucking money. So by suing him and him hitting her with the money off the top, that made the feds wonder why. What millionaire would give a regular person millions of dollars in seconds with finger snapping? Who? So that's what made everything look like, nah, we got to go dig deeper into the situation, which they didn't have to do that. But Diddy black. So being a nigga, they like, nah, fuck that. We're going to check into this nigga and see what's up. You bouncing? Mine. I gotta do something real quick. Yo. Where you at? It's freezing outside. Hey, bring me some chips back. But I did. That's my fault. Hey, bring me some chips back. Yeah, something like that. Or they got some called shebang chips. Yeah. Yo, yeah, so I gotta make me a motherfucking coffee, but I'm gonna put this back on for y'all so y'all can see what's popping with this scenario as I make my coffee.
Charlemagne. The beats. Yeah, he had gotten fired.
We got some very shocking news. You actually yourself broke. This wasn't broken by anybody else. You actually went on Twitter yourself and broke this news. So go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, I put out on Twitter that I got fired from WPHI 100.3 The Beat in Philly. I mean,
yeah, 103 The Beat in Philly. He had went to Philly, and then he got fired there because he said something about Beanie Siegel and Hov.
It wasn't nothing for me to break the news. My life is an open book, you know. It's nothing for me to share something like that.
So describe to me.
Anyway, let's get back to.
Is it still bad boy / convict? Yeah, absolutely. It's
Okay.
Bad Boy / Pound.
And I'm hearing
And T-Pain getting his auto-tune on my album for sure.
Okay.
I personally, I like auto-tune, man. You know, I ain't mad at auto-tune.
I mean,
auto-tune ain't do nothing to me.
Exactly. It works sometimes and it doesn't work other times.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of things Jay-Z could have called death to. He could have called death to gang banging. He could have called death to the celebration of drug culture in rap. He could have called death to old rappers who don't know when to sit down, but then he would have get to himself.
Right.
So,
Right.
I understand.
All right.
Now, Cassie,
Yeah.
Cassie, I'm not gonna lie, Cassie. I talked about you so bad about a month and a half ago.
I want to hear what you said.
When you first shaved your head off,
Mhm.
and then the pictures of you came out naked the next week,
Mhm.
I said, this chick is screaming for attention in a Beyonce, Rihanna world.
Really?
Yes.
And is that how you truly feel?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Right.
I
I know you think it's a little
listen-
unfair to judge before you do know somebody.
I mean, I didn't judge. I was just giving my opinion because you know
Okay.
when they talk about Cassie, you know, you don't hear a lot of good things. That's why I kind of got to give you props for keeping your head up because they say things like, you know, you're untalented, you're not good vocally, and then when you shaved your head and came out with the naked pictures, it was like, okay, she's reaching that. But
Well, I didn't put out the naked pictures. That's-
Y'all like how Cassie just let him get that off. Yo, when they talk about you, they say a lot of negative things. That you're untalented. She says nothing. That you shaved your head for attention. Well, I ain't shaved my head for no attention. You're supposed to be like, what you mean I ain't got no talent, nigga?
Number one. But I did put out the pictures of my head shaved.
And that's, I mean, everybody's following you now, so you're looking like a trendsetter nowadays.
I mean, it's not even a trend. It's something I did.
How did that make you feel when you saw your nude pictures on the internet?
My heart stopped for a second. You know what I mean? It was one of those situations. But, and it was a few days of this kind of stuff happening.
Why would you let a dude take pictures of you like that, knowing that you're a Cassie? Because the pictures weren't old.
I took them and sent them to my boyfriend.
Really? Who was your boyfriend at the time? Diddy?
Doesn't matter.
Diddy doesn't need pictures of you naked.
It wasn't for him.
Brian Leslie?
No, it wasn't for him.
Huh.
This is Goat Charlemagne. We don't get these fucking answers. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cassie's a goat. Again, I know she's saying this was not consensual. She was supposed to do this. But Cassie held that nigga Diddy down. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. Like, and I understand Diddy was probably tight that she cheated on him type shit. But Diddy been fucking mad. I don't know whether to say men or women, but Diddy been cheating too. Diddy, for how good she held that nigga down and kept this secret for so long, while her reputation and her image got slammed, bruh. I know she cheated with the trainer, but sometimes you gotta get the parting gift, like dog. She definitely held that nigga down.
That shit goofy as hell. When you got a broad and you're in a relationship with her, it don't matter what the fuck you and her doing because that's y'all private life. Now, if she a goofy and she go out there and tell the world about y'all business and she want everybody to know, there's nothing you can do about that because you chose her to be the lady who you lay down with. So she's gonna know things about you that might be private. And if a woman want to get vindictive and say something or hit you upside the head with information that you don't want people to know, ain't nothing you can do about that because you dating her. So Diddy, I don't think that is so salacious. And I know grown people with big brains don't even give a fuck about no shit like that because at the end of the day, everybody gonna be doing something in the bedroom that nobody else gonna know. That's just the fuck about how it goes. You know what I'm saying? And so all of us is going to be in relationships. If anybody find out anything about what you do with a significant other, if you kiss a girl this way, or if you drop her off or pick her up, open the door for her, if you buy this, to have some other person gonna say, oh my God, you bought that, you crazy. It's like that's how it goes. So nobody's gonna. That's why it's private. You know what I'm saying? So it's not nothing that you're gonna ever be able to say, and then universally, or even somebody in your house or your whole classroom or people you know are gonna say, man, I agree with you. No, they all be like, what? Oh heck no, I don't. You know, it's like that's ridiculous. So her keeping a secret from him having this type of fetish or this type of sexual desire, that's dumb. That's not even going to have no legitimacy because everybody get to be them damn selves and don't nobody get to make you, you know what I'm saying, date people the way they want you to. It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? You get to choose what you want and it don't have to make nobody else happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how that works. I would never believe that, you know, that it is crazy to hear about somebody's personal life because you don't hear about that. It's not something like you hear about all the time. Nobody breaking down what somebody else's sexual life is, but that is a part of the world. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, hey, people are going to want to know. If it's an interesting thing, but you know what I mean. They used to say keep the government out the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And then you can see why, because it's too much stuff that could be saw and seen as crazy when for somebody else it's normal. Or if you got your relationship and your girlfriend says it's cool, how could that be foul? How could that be wrong? I'm not asking you to do it. I'm asking my lady to do it, and she down with it. So what the fuck's your problem? So that's why I say to see them all up on Diddy like he's bogus, it don't seem like it's legit. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they're just trying to make something up about him. You know what I'm saying? So that they can keep their little names in the game. Let's see what they said on Law and Crime.
Fully prosecute him on that. Why wouldn't they make it a part of this case? Because while consent can be a defense for sex trafficking and racketeering with what he's dealing with now of adults, you throw minors in there, that consent defense goes out the window. It becomes a much more difficult case to defend. So it seems to me that the prosecution maybe didn't feel that there was enough evidence to support that. Okay, Afi, stand by. We're getting word. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get Elizabeth Milner up because she was in that courtroom for today's testimony. Stay with us.
So basically, he ain't talking about too much shit, but this is another one of those channels that I look at that do the Diddy trials and shit like that. And they're basically talking about the different elements of it. You know, our academics, I've been bumping him for the longest time because, you know, he stayed on top of the game of it too. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just trying to see who got the best information about the trial, you know what I'm saying, is really the key to knowing what's up, because a lot of people are reporting. A lot of people are staying on top of the case. It's been a big case for all of us to even know about, you know what I'm saying? But now it's here, you know. There's a lot of live shows, a lot of, you know, and that go, like somebody said, it's no way Diddy's gonna lose this case. It's just absolutely no way, because they only have to prove 2 of the claims. So that means, you know, trafficking or doing a part of the RICO, or he was drugs, or he was guns, anything that they charged him with in this case. All they need to do is prove 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? So he bribery, money, whatever, paying the guys, or he did the Mann Act. They gave him a lot of cases. They gave him a lot of fucking, you know, stuff. You know what I'm saying, to deal with. So it's like if any of these motherfucking cases are found out, it's gonna look bad for him. You know, it's gonna look fucking horrific for him. So I know he don't want that shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? He wants this shit to go away. But with the people having you in court, they're not gonna let this shit go away. So now the other question is, I see my boy say Tariq Mash does a good show. Does a good show, keeping up with his breakdowns on the top 10. Yeah. I've been trying to. What's up, bro? I've been trying to myself. I've been rolling though. I ain't had no chance. But I've been seeing like a lot of shit going down with it. You know what I'm saying? Like Law and Crime, like they got some shit popping right now. But they're just doing a live stream. They're not actually talking about it. But it's just all the stuff that he then put himself into that, you know, it looked like he would beat this. I know he's going to beat it because he got the best lawyers. And each lawyer is there to attack one element of it. Like one lawyer is there just for the appellate reason, seeing if it's going to be an appeal. Like, are they saying something that can lead to an appeal in case they get he found convicted of this? Then they got one lawyer that's just for cross-examinations of the chick, Cassie. Then they got one lawyer that's just specifically for that Dawn Richardson chick. She's an expert on Dawn Richardson. So he got lawyers that's specific for every element of his cases as well. He's like shooting darts at what they're saying. And then one major element about his case is, you know, when they bring a case to the courtroom, they're trying to bring the biggest thing at first. Like, okay, this person did this murder, or this person burnt down this building. So when you come to a case and the first thing that you bring is this guy have freaky sex, well, damn, that's all you got. You just had a RICO. You're supposed to be showing where he got the guns, who he was coordinating with, doing all this sexual shit, who was the people that was helping him, was the fucking security guards that was doing coordinating, driving people, picking motherfuckers up, using helicopters to bring motherfuckers. It's supposed to be something to showcase exactly what the case has been called upon. So when you talk about a RICO, which is racketeering, influence, all that shit, he ain't doing that. You just got basically a girl who's mad about the relationship, and she's talking about everything bogus that he did. And most times when you get in a relationship with a chick, a long-term one, it's gonna be a whole bunch of shit that you did. And she got fucking lists and lists and lists and lists and lists and lists and lists. But so now, for the first time in a lot of time you ever heard, the media and the federal government is letting her just unfold every fucking thing in a relationship that she was mad about. And so it looked like he was a bogus person. But if you look at anybody's relationship, and the female of that relationship, she got 1,000. You ain't got to be no millionaire motherfucker like p.diddy. You ain't got to be having a bunch of clothes and a bunch of dollars and a fucking helicopter to fly around. You could just be a dude and ask the girl who you've been dating 10 years, hey, what'd he do? Them 3 words. And she'll fucking have a list of shit. And if you had to play that shit in front of a jury and a judge and a TV show, nobody would look at that shit like you was cool. They'd be saying, this nigga ain't shit. I can't believe you did her like that. You like, what the fuck, damn? Because it's playing out for everybody else to see. But the government is supposed to really be coming with evidential words that showcase he actually was doing criminal enterprise. And what is playing out in the beginning of the case is that he just was a freaky dude who had a girl who will say no to nothing. Anything he asked her, she was down for. So he would ask her all kind of shit. Let's do this, let's do that. And she cool because the lifestyle. So, and then she left 6 years from not being with him. 6 fucking years. And then she tried to apply for a job, they saying. I don't know if that's true, but they said she tried to apply for a job with him in that 6 years they weren't together. Then she claimed he raped her, and she went back and had sex with him again. So it's a lot of stuff that's kind of like convoluted information. Is a relationship that bad, but you would do some shit because the relationship fucked up, and you might make decisions to be like, well, I'm mad at this guy, or I'm mad at this girl. And then if you think about it later, you'd be like, man, what the fuck I do that shit for? I done found somebody else. I don't know why the fuck I went over there. But you didn't know that at that moment. You was thinking like, fuck this shit. I'm pissed the fuck off and not doing what I have to do. So we'd all be on the trail as men. Yeah, hell yeah. So it's like, as guys, you're going to have a girl who's going to not like some shit you did. And then she's going to have in fucking TV saying it. But to me, it's not what he did. Her anger and her angle is just to embarrass him. Because that's where he was never had. He had respect. He had credential. He had the streets. He had people who fucking looked up to him for 30-something years. So just by going out there and saying, yeah, when we had sex, he'll freak a dude like this, and he want men to be there. That right there is salacious enough. It don't matter what else the fuck they did in the bedroom. Just saying those words, and you a girl who was with him for 10 years unmarried. Now it seems like, what the fuck wrong with Diddy? Why? What the fuck? Is this true? So that's really, she don't give a fuck if he get convicted. She don't give a fuck if he go down for this shit. She just wanted to burn his name in the ground so she could walk away and say, motherfucker, got his ass. Because she probably wasn't shitting on him. We saw him whoop her ass. She probably did feel victimized. She probably did have bad moments in the relationship. But in everybody that's an adult, you get to leave. You get to walk away. So they talking about child, what's that word they're using? Like when you kidnap a person and stop them from leaving, I forgot what but they tried him with this shit, like whatever they call it today. But it's not really real because she could have left at any point. You driving over there, taking Ubers over to his crib, you stand downstairs in the mansion. Nobody is holding you against your will. So that's going to be sex trafficking. I think that's what they call it. How can that be proven if you can leave and go at will? You can get your ass up and just walk out the damn room. You can not Uber there. You can not take a cab there. Right, that's it. That's the yeah. You could not take your ass to these locations. If you could have this already as an element of your life, but you choosing not to do that, you choosing to go around the people that are boo on you, you choosing to go around the people that are pee on you, there's something to be wrong with your mind. And then here's the other part about it that's funny. If dude said, this is what the Cassie and the guy said, Diddy would stand on the side and watch while I do this to this girl. He'll be over there on the side beating off, and I'm gonna do this to this girl. Well, then that nigga, you did the crime. Because if he's standing over here watching you and you effectively doing a fucking crime and admitting it, what the fuck you talking about? I did, nigga. That's your brain. You a whole grown up and she a whole grown up. We did it for you. That's called you crazy as hell. You can't put no shit on me because of your action. You know what I'm saying? And then so it's all of this weird bullshit that again would happen inside a relationship that we wouldn't even know. But factually, they want to put that shit out there against Diddy because I just think that he chose the wrong kind of female to be around, and nobody got the perfect girl idea. Nobody know. You know what I'm saying? But at his level, with millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and he could do and travel and go as many places as far as where he want to go. It's not a lot of females that's gonna say no to that. They're gonna be down with that shit. It's gonna not a lot of females that's gonna run away from a motherfucker who could take care of you, your mother, your family, give you a future. But to me, it's just a bad relationship, and that could happen. And the fact that it's playing out in front of the media, and he got to spend all this money for lawyers and do all that—that's the real damage. He gonna beat the case because they're not proving those elements. You got people that's coming on stage and saying they agree with the same experience that Cassie had, or they was there too, or they was a part of it. But technically, it's not illegal for grown people to have sexual relations that's not normal. So if they want to be threesomes or polygamous, or if they want to be doing S&M or whatever kind of ideas that they choose to be in in their relationship, that's not necessarily illegal. You see, they took all that bull crap about him dealing with kids out because that wasn't true. And so you really just got Cassie. And now you got other girls like this Don Richard chick. She popping out, but she basically popping out because she was shitted on by the contract. She said all this before he was even taken down. He came at her and was giving her rights back after so many years that you could have the rights back. But she was looking at it like there's no more motherfucking money in it. I made the songs 15, 20 years ago, and now you gonna give me the rights to this shit? I can't make no money off this shit today. So she was pissed, and she said, he said, look, if I'm gonna give you this shit, this is gonna give you a month. You can't say shit about our experience working together. She said, no, I want to be free. I don't want to sign nothing. Keep that shit. If I want to write a book, if I want to do interviews, if I want to say what I want to say about my experience working with you, I want to be free. She a white person. So she feel like I can make money. I don't give a fuck about signing no deal with you and getting that little punk ass song that we made together. Get out of here. So now they went to her and said, hey, would you like to testify against him? Well, obviously she got a grudge. She got a fucking grudge. She gonna be like, yeah, this nigga shitting on me in the car. What the fuck do I need to say about him to get him going under? Because why? She signed a contract of her own volition, right? She was over 18. It wasn't her benefit. The contract went more over to his side. So now that has played out, and she see that it's not going to be money coming from this, it's not going to be money coming from that. You got tricked. You got hit upside the head with the contract. Now you mad. So you're going to come right to court and be like, look, yeah, I saw him whip her ass. And yeah, I saw, whatever it is. So that's a person that's going to be a hostile witness. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing you can do about that. It's her right to come and pop out and do all that. If she feel like that, he had the relationship with her. He can't stop her from doing it. So she has the right to come out there and do that. But is it true? Is what she's saying up there true? Was she a white person? If she started crying on the stand, it's going to be a lot to say that she's going to be probably proven. But Diddy, again, got a particular lawyer, one specific lawyer who only works for that girl. So all she got to do is do the background on her, find out who she is, who else is she did some crying. Maybe she's trying to hit other people up in suits or whatever. That particular lawyer is going to eat her alive when they come back to a cross-examination. She's going to be like, yo, well, what was you at this point? How can you prove this? It's going to be hard to prove that she can, being an artist that was just somebody who Diddy signed, that she can see some relationship coming down the pipeline with him and his woman, that she can prove that something she could see will happen because of this. Oh, he grabbed her, but because of this happening. How would you know? He was just in a fucking room with him. It could have been some personal shit that happened on the ride over there or in a relationship. You just wouldn't be able to know all that shit. But she's going to still probably come to court like they said. She testifying today to try to smack him. And this is, again, it's just one of them situations as a black guy. You really got to be thinking because these people ain't your friend. And he thinking like, I'm just going to, come up off of her and woo. He got another thing coming because she trying to make sure he go down for this. And you talking about this whole legacy. They talking about all this real wild freaky shit that he did, and his kids is in the fucking room. Daughters, they like young women, you know what I'm saying? Seeing all this shit that did, it's like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing nobody could do because he probably did all this shit. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of it, if nothing else, because this is how they gonna look at it. Why would these people be coming to bring you to court? Yeah, okay, maybe they didn't prove this. Maybe they didn't prove that. That sounds faulty. I agree. That might not be legit, what they said right there. But it's all these people coming to bring you to trial. It's no way we could just let you walk out of here and just be like, okay, y'all didn't prove it. No, maybe they didn't prove it, but we'll just still give you a conviction because something did happen. We just don't know. They ain't smart enough to be able to say it right.
I wouldn't miss a day. I would probably miss like half a day, but fuck that. I'm gonna see if I can push that back.
We get my call.
But every day this week, I'm supposed to be doing 8 hours. So we're trying to start around 8, 9, and we're going to like 5 or 6. Okay. So for anybody who's thinking about stream schedule this week. Every day, 8 or 9, going 5, 6. Cool. Big Pluto. Come on, man. That's my boy, man. And I was looking at Pluto this morning. I was just like, yo, nobody looks at me with this much love other than my mama. Like, Pluto was just looking at me like, Daddy, I love you. And I was just like, I love you too. I'll take any amount of deposition for you. All right, cool. Oh, yeah. Yo, they said Fat Joe was going in on Joe Budden? What the hell? What's going on? Fat Joe?
So this gonna be a big motherfucking time, man. Everybody watching this shit.
So Fat Joe, and I think, by the way, honestly, I think Fat Joe.
About Fat Joe, he dissed motherfucking black people a while back. So he been canceled. I ain't heard nobody say his ass back right now. So they didn't even cancel this nigga. Diddy go. I will say that it's a problem for that boy right now. You know what I'm saying? And messing with your ex. You know, we all, if you're a dude, have had an ex-girlfriend that hate your ass. So is that baby mama, some girl that you dealt with at your younger years can't stand your ass today. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of the game. You know what I mean? You can't win everybody over. You know what I'm saying? But it's a part of the game. It's a whole bunch of motherfuckers doing these damn lives. I'm just clicking them, just trying to see who the fuck. I don't really know these people. I've never seen their page before. But the scenario is so big that everybody actually is on it. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about it, like this Diddy shit. Like what the fuck? But they put mad commercials on everybody's shit. Like they not playing it. You doing this shit, they hitting your ass with these motherfucking commercials. Like, yeah, y'all want to stream? Okay, cool. So let me see what those girls talk about.
But and then it's only once you don't offer us the amount we feel we deserve that we file the suit. So I say that to say it was settled in 24 hours, but they had more notice and they thoroughly had gone through the facts way before then. But the settlement though was that was money she received for DV. I mean, I just don't understand with the tape why someone is saying she wasn't entitled. She's laying in the bed with WD talking to Alex. Did he raise all Alex's kids and D? I don't know who WD is. He didn't have. I don't know who that is.
This would be for the female side of the
here we go.
streamers.
We don't know the context of that, Coco. And she's saying she was coerced to go back. That is correct. 30,000. That is tricking. Yes, 30,000 was nothing. That's literally tricking men. Arguably, it's alleged that Young Miami's monthly allowance is $100K. $100K per month. So let me do just the synopsis of what we've heard, and let me confirm. Confirm when they're coming back. Here we go. Let me confirm when they're coming back.
And that's crazy though, because goddamn month to be around Diddy. That's gonna stop you from
live.
You would be the last motherfucker if he
right.
like that. That's over $1 million a year.
Oh.
So is she gonna testify against Diddy on his behalf?
Momento.
That's a deep question right there.
I love how they have these live updates. Here we go.
30,000.
Support them too. So they wrapped up with Don's testimony. Let me just confirm what time. Let's see. What time they're coming back? I think it's going to be 1.
So they on break right now.
Inner City Press always knows. Arguments continue. It says, with the jury out, arguments continue. What's your best citation to try and get this evidence in? The judge says, I'll look at all of them. We'll come back. And there's a citation for a case. And he says, I ain't seen this before. With the jury out for lunch.
Live right there. There's a group out there called Inner City Press. And they basically be the ones who go out here and they'll do on Twitter a breakdown of everybody that's every day they do this. It's a white dude, obviously, Matthew Russell Lee, and he goes in and he does a breakdown of the case, word for word, everything that goes on during the inside, because there's no cameras allowed on the side. So he's been going there doing this for months now. And that's, I mean, shit, as long as in a lot of cases he do it all, but this Diddy case is the biggest one. So right now, so he's up there doing that. And that allows him to keep his company name banging because not a lot of people going to go up there and do a breakdown of every single second that's happening with Diddy trial. You know, people got lives. They don't give a shit about that. You know, plus he's a millionaire. And I believe he's going to beat it so that after he beat it, he's going to get back to his normal life. And so you're going to be thinking to yourself, what did I do in that time frame? Because he's been up there probably about 9 months, almost 9 months dealing with jail. So that's a long little time. Some people have a baby in that time frame. You know what I'm saying? So, but he been sitting in jail dealing with this shit. No money, can't get money. You know what I'm saying? He don't have his, he can't take his money. They're not letting his money work for him. He can't use it to get out of jail. He can't do for shit with it. You know what I'm saying? He's just rich for no damn reason. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Damn, I ain't been on my damn light. What's all in the damn shit? Use my light or window. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, but anyway, that's Diddy's situation, and it's just really it's really crazy for the bro because we was such fans of him growing up. I could just tell. I remember being 29, and I made my first movie that I was going to promote to the world. It's called Hood Life. And after I made it with my homies in the hood in Chicago, we jumped in a car. My buddy J-Dog, he went and paid for everything. He had like a little record company in Inglewood. So he was like, I'm taking everybody to New York. We like, what? Fuck, I ain't never been to New York. So we were like, man, we jumped in the car. We drove all the way from Chicago to New York. The idea was to go to meet P.Diddy. So we drive 12, 13 hours from Chicago. I got my movie. That time it's on VHS. It wasn't a DVD. It wasn't out at that time. It's like 2001. So we riding. So we get down there and we get to P.Diddy office, like his office in Times Square. And we go up in there. You know, obviously they got security down there, and we handled the movie and shit. So we felt accomplished. Like, hell yeah, nigga, we gave our motherfucking movie to Diddy. What the fuck? Now, obviously we didn't meet Diddy. We never seen him. You know what I'm saying? But he was fucking bigger than life. You can't even imagine. These rap people today could never be that level. He was executive, but he was the one who was making all the movies. So we drove from Chicago. We made the movies called Hood Life. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. Hood Life, you said whatever. So we gone over there to New York. I could actually play the movie for y'all right over here. It's on YouTube. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up real quick. But anyway, so we could take this movie to New York. It's 2001. We got a hood movie. It's our own. I directed it. We wrote it with my other friends, and we going. So we get there. We don't see Diddy. We give it to his company in Times Square at that time. So we felt so accomplished. You know, we out there walking down the street in Times Square buying shit. We just like, yeah, nigga, we gonna make it. You know, we young. It's like we just feeling like we on. You know what I'm saying? We really was feeling like we was on. You know, I'm gonna pull it up the movie right now because at that time we was using the technology that we had, and God blessed us to be able to put this movie together. You know what I'm saying? And it was rough because you know you didn't have no money for the fucking technology, but at that time you used everything you could. And my boy J-Dog was a supporter of it. He passed away like maybe a year or two later. Then that's a rest in peace of J-Dog. But make a long story short, this was let me see if it's up there. Yeah, it is. So you see it right there. It's been so many years. When I uploaded this video, this was the 20th reunion. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot. 2001 to now. I think that's like 24 years now. So anyway, but anyway, this how the movie was. But anyway, so we took this movie all the way to New York. So we get it up there, and we don't meet Diddy. So we go shop in New York. We flip to. They was like, man, you know, it's my buddy J-Dog rapping right here. Because he freestyled over this beat, which was a Diddy beat for Mary J. Blige. But he was freestyling over. So they took it to we went to New York. I'm sorry. We went to Philly because they was like, Philly is close. And so it was like, bet. At this time, Jay-Z and them had a song out with, what's that boy name? Freeway. So this song was crazy big. You're with me. All right, so anyway, we gun it to Jersey.
I'm finna tell you right now, I'm trying to sell you. Make a laugh up here.
So
I'm saying, why you so intense? What's wrong?
It's just
mantles and we Philly, so we did that. So then we go to the nightclub, right? Some random nightclub in Philly. It was like the All-Star Weekend. It happened to be the All-Star Weekend that weekend. So we drove from New York to Philly, and then we got there at this nightclub. Everybody was like, "Let's not go inside. Let's play outside." So we just got to see what's going on. So some people that was outside the line, they ended up breaking into the club. Like, you know, break out windows and then get inside. So the security was pissed off about that happening. So they had other people started leaving out the front door. So we was already chilling outside. Guess who walked out the front door of the fucking nightclub? P.Diddy. He walked out with her bad, bro. They walking past us. We tripping like, what the fuck? We just went all the way to New York to see P.Diddy. His motherfucking ass right here in Philly. And he walked right past us and shit with some bro. And then a bunch of other celebrities came out, like I think whoever else they came out to build their little club because you know the chaos was happening inside with breaking the windows. They all like, let's get the fuck out of here because we don't know if a shootout or fight gonna happen. But this happened back in like 2001. So we was like, damn, we ended up fucking catching up with P. Diddy anyway. We didn't get a chance to kick with him, talk to him, but we never felt like the mission was accomplished. Like there you go, right there. Like we fucking right to touch his ass. He fucking right in front of us. You know what I'm saying? The people was leaving out the club in Philly because of this chaos that happened. And then so we ended up meeting Big Diddy that way. But we didn't actually get to talk to him. It was that night when the club situation happened. So that's the movie that we took up there because I had made this in my hood at that time. And I was like, we used the technology that we had. Obviously, technology. I was young as hell back then, trying to get into the filmmaking game, and this was the movie. But yeah, so Diddy, he was inspirational to us. He wasn't just like this nigga who was trying to be on the end of the game. He had really impact, and so again, his legacy is really what's more at stake. Not I know his freedom is at stake. Don't get me wrong, but I know that I don't think he's gonna lose the case because it's really just a relationship going. Bro, you know, girls get pissed off at guys, you know what I'm saying? And they will go to this extreme if they get mad enough. You know, take your ass right to court, and it's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? You got to choose right, which is not easy to choose right. Nobody got the fucking holy grail key about how you choose a chick. It can happen to anybody. But for him to be such a billionaire and then the stuff you learned about him, that's enough damage. You know, contracts is going to be, he beat this case, contracts is going to be up. Nobody going to lock in with him and do nothing else. Nobody going to ever come around and do music again. Nobody going to, he going to be a laughing stock. And if he does like do those tours where they come back and be like, let me go interview with people and say, man, I don't forget everybody. It's no deep. People going to be looking at him like, man, what I heard about you, bro, was so off peak. I don't even want to be around that. And that's really what the damage is going to be. So you'll have your millions of dollars and you'll be rich, but that's all you'll have. You won't have respect. You won't have loyalty. You won't have friendships. You won't have people that really, unless you got your family, your kids. Now they're going to be looking at you upside the head because you wasn't really their dad every day. You've been on the road. You've been living. You've been traveling. You've been making money. You've been gone. So now you pop back in and you be like, hey, y'all, thank y'all for coming to court with me. Hey, I want to have dinner. I want to get together. And they were like, man, shut the fuck up, you bitch ass nigga. Get the fuck away from me. You wasn't having no dad to me. You like, what the fuck you talking about? Boy, I just went through all this shit. Yeah, but nigga, where was you when I graduated? Where was you when mama needed you? Where was you when my auntie called? I ain't had no time. I'm running out here trying to get these fucking mansions and have all this shit. Then I just spent a year in jail. Like, you know, life keep moving. Like, you know, so your kids looking at you like, you missed my graduation. You missed my motherfucking party. Where was you? I need somebody to talk to when this happened. You know what I'm saying? And then you see when the dads are going to the extent that some of these multimillionaire dads be, the son could turn into the Johnson son, Magic Johnson son. When somebody gets to him, put some kind of weirdness in his ear, and then he believes. Now his rest of his life, he living like that. He can't be worked backwards. He can't understand that that's not the way you might want to rock out. He feeling like that's me, and that's how I rock out. And it's like, okay, cool. His dad, his mother love him as far as that's concerned. It don't matter what nobody else said. So it could be that when you're not around the kid in a kid life and you just chasing money and you just want to get your job, your legacy is more important because the legacy can be faulty. The legacy can be tampered. The legacy can be diminished. The legacy can be crushed and flipped upside down. So now what legacy do you have if your legacy is you like to go in the bad bedroom with other guys stuff and put on your nose? Like what legacy is that? You know what I'm saying? Is that a legacy that you want people to look at you as when you're walking down the street? Or when your videos pop up in the future. These are things that fame have waiting on you when you think that you could cheat the game or it's just gonna be you. Because for somebody like me, I didn't think about this at the time of being a fan of Diddy or Michael Jackson or Prince or Michael Jordan or anybody who worked inside the culture of white people and they did something for their companies or they did a part of something in their movies and it made this big impact. I never thought about this until now that when the guys get the money, when they get rich, when they make all this money, why don't they go out and set up something to make other black people rich? You know what I'm saying? For instance, a storefront or a building or a company or something, even if it's not in the music world. Like, well, why don't they ever do that? Because if you got all these millions of dollars, what reason would you take that money to a, let's say, one of those necklace niggas? Well, what would they, Jake the jeweler type motherfuckers? Why would you take money to somebody like that and get diamonds? Like, to me, it shows that you don't really have the smarts. Because if somebody gave you 100,000, 70 million, 70,000, you could take that money and flip it. And now the 12 people in your family, the people, your cousins, your brother, your nephew, now you got a thing that they can keep generating money. And there's also people in the family with fucking ideas. It don't always gotta be your idea. It's people in the family that's like, yo, we need to start this motherfucking dog thing. It's gonna be a shelter for animals and shit. We watching. It's just so much shit that people in your own family that could tell you shit that could help you build these things. But I think that watching white people riding through their neighborhood, seeing TV, make you want to be them. It's just something we can't wash off. It's something we can't decree off of us. It's like, hey, if I finally get the money, then I want to mimic that. And I want to, but I don't give a shit what I got to do, because if I'm on this earth, then only happiness is mimicking that, because then there's only death or being black. So it's like, I'd rather just go mimic that. Give me a fucking boat, give me a fucking helicopter, give me all the diamonds, give me some furs, some fancy jackets, shit. Make us into the Egyptian thought that you could live on earth and take it to death. But not all the pyramids was full of shit that they couldn't take to death. And they wrapped them up in a thing and they mummified them. But at the end of the day, they stayed in mummies for fucking 4,000 years. They never got up and walked away. They never used the rings and necklaces and jackets and shit that they kept. They never used it again. They was royal deaths and that was it. So today, what do we keep? You die, it's gone. It stays up here. Somebody else get to utilize it. So I would be more inclined to understand that if you got these money, if you got the 25 million, if you got the 100K, make something, find out a thing that you could kick off, and then it will continue to generate. It's not hard, because if you see the Nikes, if you see these companies, they're basically just doing the same thing. They're making a product that continue to sell hundreds of years into the future. It's the same shit sometimes. Like, for instance, if you go to certain stores, you might be in there, you might still, you feel me? So me saying that is basically saying that these are products that's going to last forever. But then when you look at the rap career for 50 years, what product in 50 years is still around or has been made in the last 50 years? And you can still think about it or look at it, and it's a black product or it's a rap oriented product. Nothing. It's not one thing. It's not a pair of shoes that's hip hop only. It's not a jacket. It's not a fucking formula. It's not a company. It's not nothing. So basically, everybody just get money and being materialistic in their thoughts. So you can see somebody like P. Diddy had to be the beacon of that psychology. He had to be the largest level of take the money and go buy shit that you cannot need. So now everybody's following that lead. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, well, cool. Diddy got the contract. Diddy the motherfucker who they signed. Diddy the one who you go up to get the record deal. So now he's so fucking rich, and he's just basically telling you your sound is fading out. My bro telling me that. Oh, I gotta see what the fuck is going on with the audio. Oh, okay, hit that YouTuber, because I'm going off into this shit today, and I've been wanting to talk about this shit. Oh, I know what it is. I gotta probably close some of these other channels and shit, and then go to the live stream, and then click the audio on that live stream. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. I thought, okay, I did mute it. Yeah, so you still see my movie playing right there. You know what I'm saying? That I made this back in in the day, you know what I'm saying? I mean, man, you know what I'm saying? This is it. You could actually see the whole thing. You good, and I appreciate that, boy. Yo, Stoner Trap in the game. Y'all need to holler at Steve Stoner, man. Steve O. Stoner, he doing the music. He got the good green in the music. The music is all about revolutionary shit, man. We traveled the country together doing music and all this good shit. So, you know what I'm saying? But as you should see in my movie from back in that day, that's basically my movie I shot at the time, and I took it up to New York to get it to Diddy. He wasn't in New York when we went to Philly. He was in one of those nightclubs at the All-Star game that year, and he did walk past us, me and my bros, and we was all like, hell yeah, nigga, Diddy go get our shit. We drove back to Chicago, lit in the motherfucker. But at that time, this 2001. So it's like 24 years ago. You know what I'm saying? God bless me to still be alive all this time. But I'm here to tell y'all that story. But, you know, independently, we felt like we was going to make it in the industry and be next up. You know how you go. You know how all that shit is. But, you know, the boy, he set himself up in a scenario that's been kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that the bro really got a fucking she got a big fish. And it would be stupid for her to drop this. She got her husband coming there. She's pregnant, Cassie. I'm saying she got these other girls who's willing to come up there and go against Diddy. If he beat this case, it's gonna be crazy. That's why they hit you with so many elements. That's why they get you so many charges. You know what I'm saying? You got to think he got a RICO part. He got the trafficking part. He got the gun charge. He got the bribery part where he hit him with money. He got the part where they saying the Mann Act where he was dealing with, you know, traveling with the female, leaving out of town. That's like 5-6 charges that he got. And what else they choose? They got the gun. They probably charged him with some other stuff I can't think of. But imagine this: you only need to hit 2. All you need is 2 to prove a RICO, to prove the case that he's under. You only need 2. So if they mean that they get the Mann Act, which means he got a girl he wet, he took out of town for sexual activity, or the second one, if he can choose trafficking, which means that when he got out of town, they did, you know, hire prostitutes and all that. Or if they could prove bribery, which he was giving them money to say nothing. Hey, this between us, hey, don't say nothing. Or if they could prove that he had guns that was illegal, like the guns that was in his crib, that they did find illegal guns in his house, where some of them had to scrape off serial number. That's something that they can prove that was in his crib. Or that they could prove that the girl was held against her will when she was trying to go, the trafficking part, when she was trying to get up out of there. She was saying she couldn't leave because he was forcing her to stay there. So it's not a lot for they have to prove. It's not a lot. If they could prove any one of those 5, and there's more, they probably got a few more charges on him, or even less, that they could just get 2, and then he's done. He's cooked. If you just prove 2 of those points of what he's charged with, he's cooked. Now you're talking about life in prison. Now you're talking about trying to get a retrial or what they call an appeal. So, to me, his level of influence in the world, 30-something years of giving to the world as an artist and as a musician and throwing parties and putting his face out there and leaving his family behind so he can put entertainment in the world, making so many people rich. All these people who had record companies, all the people who had worked behind the scenes, who was musicians, who you do concerts, all these people just traveling, security services, making other people rich, supporting their businesses. All this helping people become Democrats or Republicans or getting in office, you know, all of that, paying people rent behind the scenes, helping people look out for folks. He's not going to go to jail. Opening schools, he's not going to go to jail. You have to really, right now it's overwhelmed with what he's being charged with, which is a situation with his girl. But if you look at the impact of what he's done in the last 30, 40 years, he's not going to go to jail. There's no way. Then imagine each year he started, because you got to remember, p.Diddy was a part of the situation back in the day where Heavy D and him did a concert at a school, and about 5 or 6 people died from a stampede. That's the first time. We had already heard about p.Diddy before that, but that's the first time a bad news situation came out. And it was so crazy because he was the promoter, he was the person behind it all. We had thought at that time he was going to go to jail. Everybody was like, oh, damn, p.Diddy going to jail. He finna get locked up. There wasn't no internet at that time. So you had to hear about it like through the rap information that would come through, but hearsay shit. It was not like on the radio. They did talk about it on the radio, but you had to figure out whatever happened. But what ultimately happened is nothing happened to p.Diddy. Nothing. I'm telling you. 30 years ago, you can Google it. He didn't go to jail for the shit. He probably had to pay a fine. Yeah, I remember because like the first thing that we heard about him is that he had dropped out of Howard University, or was it Morehouse? One of those schools in Atlanta. He was going. I think it was Howard. He had dropped out. That's the first thing we heard. Then he was with Andre Carell, then he got fired. Then he came back and started Bad Boy. Didn't know nothing about the white guy, Klein, whoever the white dude that he was behind. That was behind him. I didn't. I was too young to give a fuck about him. I didn't know nothing about that dude. I didn't even know that was a part of the game. I just gave a fuck about Diddy. He was an artist. He was the man. So I didn't see down the pipeline that this would come, but I remember that situation happened at that school. So from that moment when it was like this big salacious situation happened with P. Diddy, now you jump years after years after years. He's getting richer. See, this is something that you got to keep remembering. His trajectory is going up. He's getting richer. He's getting more influence. He's not dating black girls no more. He didn't date it. What's the girl? You know what I'm talking about? The St. J-Lo. He didn't got girls like that now. Now he got access to white girls. But he ain't letting it go to his head. He ain't marry one. He ain't talking about this my boo forever. And if you think about it, J-Lo like Puerto Rican. So he still never even did the typical thing that most black people do when they get $5 from white folks and go find a white girl and be like, I'm married now. Hey, I love this white girl. Get the fuck out of my face. He ain't even did that. He kept it black the whole fucking lick. So he getting rich in 30 fucking years. Putting money over here, putting Harlem Boys Choir, just whatever the fuck they need to go here, sending it out. So it's people who benefited from people like that. It's the whole Donald Trump scenario. They gave him 43 felonies. Count them down. 43 felonies he got convicted of, but he still became the president of the United States. Now, you think that would have happened if he was a black guy? Probably not. Hell no. They'd have been like, because you put your name in to become the president, that's a felony. Because you knew the whole time that you already had felonies, that you know it's illegal for you to actually become the president. So the fact that you filled out the forms and you put that in there, that's a felony because you relied on the form. But he still went down. They'd have been like, what type of wired fire fraud or some shit. He'd have been like, damn, just because I applied, you never know what the people gonna say. But it's white. Trump, ain't nobody say shit. Matter of fact, let the people say. And the people said, boom, he the president with 43 felonies. But you can bet your bottom dollar, when he finally get out, he gonna be like 85. They gonna still say we need to lock his ass up for lying. He need to go to jail for after the presidency. He gonna be 88. I'm gonna say, damn, I got to do my 5 years. I got to do my 5 years. They gonna because they got beef with each other. You know. So you talk about dude staying on top all these decades, 10, 20, 30 years of being on top, and the people who he came in contact with, it's people who ain't even in the industry no more. Who P. Diddy helped. It's people who ain't even giving a fuck about entertainment no more. Because you got to think about it. From his 20s to he's 55. That's 35 fucking years. I'm just talking about the time I heard about him. I don't even know about the shit he was doing in New York before. I heard about him through the hip hop grapevine because I'm a hip hop person like that, especially in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? So we was aware of who the fuck the people was. He's just like that. Just like you probably aware who the fuck the people are today. You know what I'm saying? So I remember at the crib getting a magazine from the Jewels, which is like the food store in our city, and P. Diddy face on it. And I go back to my parents' house. I'm on the back porch and I'm reading the fucking magazine. And I'm reading an article about P. Diddy. I forgot what the Vibe magazine, perhaps. And it was like his older brother was talking about him. P. Diddy got an older brother. And in this particular article, the brother was talking about him watching P. Diddy get in the music industry, what he was thinking about if he was going to make it. Obviously, he did make it. But at that time, I'm 22. You know what I'm saying? Reading about this article. You know, reading this article about P. Diddy. This is very early on. So you don't know what somebody's going to do. You don't know if somebody's going to succeed. But then 30 years into the future, you can see all the shit this nigga done touched, the people he done influenced. There's no way he's finna go sit up in a damn prison where you can get stabbed and murdered. What? I mean, it would possibly happen if the bro could prove a crime, but she's just talking about girlfriend, boyfriend shit. He made me do this when another dude freaked me. It's a lot of girls that do freaky shit with men. What the fuck you talking about? It's many thousands around the world probably been in a relationship. You can do this shit or don't. But at the end of the day, that's what the fuck it is. The man might ask you, hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? And if she say yeah, then he's not going to feel like I victimized her. I should have thought, what was I doing that for? He's probably not going to think that. He's going to probably be like, I like her even more. Because when she said yeah, Damn, thank you. I like that. You know, so a girl is going to be more incentivized to say yes to a guy that she likes, that likes her. So today, now that the relationship is over, now it's been a long time that passed. Now you want to pop out and say, I did you wrong. I should have never done you like that. It's like, what? Like, come on. What? How do I even remember? This is another part. Do I even fucking remember all the shit this bitch talking about? Because if my life is fast forward and I'm Diddy and I'm living, I don't even fucking remember half the shit this bitch talking about. I literally got to go back in my fucking mental Rolodex and be like, what date, what time, what afternoon? Because I don't know. I mean, trying to remember this shit. He got to remember that because these people are trying to put your ass under. So you have to fucking remember. But the point about it is that I probably don't remember half the shit this bitch talking about. You know what I'm saying? And so you sitting in jail, they feel like, well, you better remember. You ain't got shit to do back there but think. You know what I'm saying? So this old boy, law and crime, let's see what he got to say real quick.
Defense needs to crystallize it, like you said, with a timeline, matching it up to the elements. I'm a lawyer. And let me tell you, explaining this to people, what racketeering is, sex trafficking, how all these allegations match up to the elements, it's complicated.
It's complex. Yeah, it is.
So got another question for you. Got a lot of questions coming.
It is complicated, but it is complicated when you try to find
begins once again. We will give you real time.
Complicated when you don't see the fault because it's evidential. This is an evidential situation. So the evidence speaks for itself. If you said he was doing this trafficking shit, if you said she was held against her will, then that should be evidential conversation to prove. So a person can't be held against her will. So for instance, if you paying their rent for their place they stay with, she admitted that he paid the rent for her apartment. It's going to nullify held against your will. Because if I'm paying your rent every month, bing, 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 and then I call you and say, hey, come slide over here, and you pop up. I'm not holding you against your will because you can go back home to the place that I'm paying for same night. So that it's going to be, how is that something hard to fucking prove? That's simple. That's simple. Like, what you mean? You didn't fucking be held against your will if you left and then came back the next day? Like, what? That's not hard. That's not. So that's where, to me, a lot of the stuff is like people are trying to search for a conviction. They're trying to find a way to make sure a conviction come down the pipeline because it's hard to see a black guy get the way to walk away when a white woman is calling out. And she's not white, she's Hispanic, but you know what America do. You know, they rock out with each other, so they don't have a culture thing, especially against a black person. So for her to be able to leave and come as she go, it's crazy to be looking at it like he's been held against her will. And then for her to come and then be on the phone to people coordinating the F-offs, how can that be something that's he's doing? Hey, you want to do another one? Hey, okay, set it up. I could see if he was saying, you want to do another one? If you don't set it up, you're going to die tonight. Her testimony is he's saying, you better do another one. Well, I'm going to put these tapes out. For 10 years, he can hold a tape over you for 10 damn years. But then you're going to keep doing the FOs as if that first FO was the one that was bad, or you're going to keep adding to the catalog of FOs that he could put out to speak against your career or against you in the media. These things is not, I'm talking about, it's not hard to understand it, man. Yeah, that's the whole lick. You said it. She gets to tell it to their society. She that she don't have to be one of them to rock right inside the system, because imagine this. He gave her $20 to $30 million from her initial suit against him, which is a civil suit, right? That prompted the federal government to send the Homeland Security to raid his house. Now, how would that work out? If you suing me and I'm somebody and I did this thing, or in your opinion, and we go to court and then I had to pay you, what the fuck the feds doing kicking in my damn door? But they took over the case. They took over and said, oh, he paid that money to her. It's got to be something criminal involved. So let's raid his house, take everything he got before he can even figure out what's going on, and then look through it. Well, okay, cool, raid my damn crib. But since he didn't leave town or do stuff that, the criminal thought, they was like, damn, he in Miami just chilling. What the fuck? He ain't threatened, he ain't scared. Get him and put him in jail. And this is all happening behind white supremacy. And she don't need to do nothing. She just sitting back watching this play out just like us. And then they come to her and say, we got him. Okay, what exactly did he do? Well, she ain't really got no crime. All she got is a bad boyfriend situation where he probably wasn't listening to her. He probably slapped her around. He probably was asking her to do stuff that she probably wasn't 100% in agreement, but she did do it. So now it's looking at it's like a bad girlfriend boyfriend relationship, but they don't have a way to utilize that as a criminal case. So that's why they put the RICO, and that's why they put all these other elements into it to make it seem like there's no way he can beat this. What do you need to do now? You need your $1 billion money chest to go hire the lawyers to attack every single charge. Here's my life. It's out in the open, and people know about me. I'm a damn celebrity. So go and prove I sell drugs. Go and prove I got guns illegal. Go and prove I RICO. Go and prove I held somebody against their will. Go and prove that I did the Mann Act. This is a lot of charges that he could, if he get chosen to lose out on one or two, just two, bam, they could ace him. They don't give a damn about the other 5. They could just ace him. It's enough. 3, you got 3 charges on you. That's all we need is 2 of them to get hit. That's it. 2 of them, bam. Guilty, you go. So it's not a heavy duty burden for the prosecution, but it's a sad situation for Diddy because look at all them bad chicks he could have been with that's black. Look at all them beautiful ass women that he probably sitting in the bed at right now talking about some damn man. If I would just, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in here. Walk past all them beautiful black women.
The outcome of the case, because we talked about how there's a problem actually getting this witness to testify. 57% of you say no, 42% of you say yes. So it seems, Nima, just to throw more questions because we're going to be, we have limited time with you. It seems to me that the audience at least believes this witness is not the make or break of the case.
It doesn't make or break it, but it's certainly helpful. And this was my concern from the jump. You have someone in Sean Diddy Combs who has almost unlimited money. There's a very real possibility that he pays one of these victims to go away or he intimidates them. We know as prosecutors, sometimes in these domestic violence or sexual assault cases, and I know this is sex trafficking and RICO, that the victims, the witnesses, they can get cold feet. So the question is, did the government really, slice this too thinly? Obviously, we know there are upwards of almost 100 people who claim that there are victims. Should they have 5, 6, 7, 8 victims really overwhelm the defense in case one or more of them went sideways like this?
Got a question for you, Mauricio, from Danny. Why was Dawn's scope of testimony so limited? Did they bring up when she said Diddy locked her in the car?
If it was limited, it was probably by design, and they probably just wanted to keep her focused on what she knew and had firsthand knowledge because they didn't want her to cross-examine on certain aspects that she may have been cloudy on, etc. So, when you ask why was her testimony so limited, it's by design. It's because the prosecution wanted it to be limited. That would be the only answer that
because it's really to support the testimony of Cassandra Ventura, right? It's to say, what did you observe regarding Cassandra Ventura? And she's not, I believe, one of the alleged identified victims in this indictment, although her testimony about being scared and feeling threatened actually goes to the overall indictment against Sean Combs, why, the means and methods of this criminal enterprise to keep people quiet or keep people compliant, or also to, explain why Cassandra Ventura didn't speak up earlier. Right, Mauricio?
Yeah, and listen, and also, she does have a pending lawsuit, and she's also, I'm sure, on cross-examination, they could have brought up, well, you saw all of this in 2009. You didn't say anything until 2025. I know part of what they're saying is that they were scared of p.Diddy and that he was the type of person that would threaten them. But at the end of the day, she saw these acts of violence and she never spoke out. She never called the police. So, I guess that the prosecution wanted to just narrowly tailor her testimony to back up Cassie. That would be, make sense.
Afi, question for you. Princess. I asked because people keep saying Cassie, agreed to it. Does her originally agreeing harm the sex trafficking charge? I think that means because she admitted she first had agreed to the freak offs as a way to make her partner, Sean Combs, happy. What do you think?
No, I think that she has a right to initially engage in anything. I think, she can say that she wants to do something 99 times. I don't care how, call it what you want. sexually deviant, a little bit of freaky, a little bit, risque or interesting, she can agree to that 99 times. But the 100th time when she says she doesn't want to do it, that's when it becomes a problem. It
But it's
does
not
not
criminal.
matter that
But
she
it's not
consented
criminal.
early on. Her
Yeah.
desires, she shouldn't be shamed
That's
for her
another bias
desires.
that they try to
My
utilize.
point has always been, at what point did it become coercive? At what point was she under a threat of violence?
She was never under
And
that.
that's the huge
And if she
factor
was,
in
why
this
didn't she
matter
call
for
the
me.
police?
Nemo, we got a super chat question from
That's
Nestdog.
to show
Nestdog,
you
thank
the
you so much
whackness
for the
of
super
what she's
chat
saying.
question.
She trying
Why
to
isn't
act like
Aubrey
she's
O'Day
victim.
testifying?
Totally
I mean, if the witness list hasn't been released, how do we know for sure she's not? That's my answer, Nemo. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Obviously, we're just finished week 1 of a 2-month trial. We're going to have a lot of witnesses that are going to be called in the prosecution's case in chief. We may have rebuttal witnesses. Look, and you bring up like Kate Moss and the Johnny Depp case. Sometimes people weren't initially going to be called, and the defense does something that really opens the door, makes that witness relevant. So I think it's very premature right now to say a witness will or will not be called.
Got another update from court. So this is the continued questioning, cross-examination by Sean Combs' defense counsel, Mark Agnifilo, of Kerry Morgan. He asks, then you were both in New York City? Kerry Morgan responds, I stayed downtown. She moved to Harlem. Agnifilo asks, have you ever met Kim Porter, who we know was Sean Combs' ex? Yes, probably at a concert. Question then is, was Cassie ever jealous? Morgan responds, yes. Nima, let me throw that to you. The whole Cassandra Ventura was jealous that she wasn't the love of Sean Combs' life, that it was really Kim Porter, focusing on the jealousy. Is the relevance of that to say, hey, this is the reason why Cassandra Ventura is now coming out against Sean Combs? I'm not sure I quite follow what the whole jealousy angle is.
I think there's 2 parts to it. One is sort of the revenge, right? This is a disgruntled ex that has an axe to grind.
That's probably a big ass.
Wasn't
point.
the main girlfriend, right? She was on the side. So that's that. But they're also going down this line of, essentially mutual combat, right? That Cassie Ventura was also physically violent. She punched Combs. So certainly doesn't excuse it. But what the defense is trying to do is say this was a violent relationship. It was a toxic relationship. Cassie, too, participated in these jealous rages and the violence. Again, they're trying to walk the line between physical violence and sex trafficking. I don't think they're going to be able to do so, but I think that's
a hater right here.
All right. Got another question from, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Evangenia Kartsasheva.
And you can understand why, because they work in America and they don't want to have
how soon do you think professionals like forensic psychologists will have some kind of to help explain manipulation mechanics and why it takes so long?
And they will do this on anybody that's black. They're not going to say too much to benefit them because they don't want the pushback, because people are going to be recording these videos. They're going to have your name and your face up there saying that Diddy wasn't down for that, especially if he get found guilty. A lot of people who work in those cultures, they're going to have to be looked upon as bad. Like when O.J. Simpson got found out, he was not guilty. The people was always, or acquitted. The people was always on some, instead of there and say, no, he didn't, because they're going to look at you and say, what? I can't believe you did, because she was a white woman. So the same thing in this scenario. She gets to tether onto the white world. So now they'll always look at P. Diddy like he did it, because why? She looked like a white woman and he didn't really date white women. So especially at that level. And if he probably had a white woman, she probably would have been more loyal to him. You know what I'm saying? You really wouldn't know how it play out. But the relationships are crumbling. And then, it's a 17-year difference in the ages. So Diddy's 17 years older than this girl, and he expecting her to have some kind of psychology that he thinking, or he trying to have her get into the freaky shit that he want or into. And so it's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? What was he thinking?
Yeah.
And everyone out there, thank you. Wrap things up again.
Yeah, so he's sitting up here messing with her, thinking that he's doing the right thing, and she just a straight snake. She can't wait to see his demise, and he would have never known that until it all happened. And it's just a lesson for many guys, especially if you're going to be living at that level and making that kind of money, or even getting any kind of money like that. They are not your friend. You know what I'm saying? They're not walking around here fucking with you. They walking around here trying to see your eyes go down. And he would have never known it because he's just thinking like, yo, I got her under my wrap. This is my woman. I'm paying. You know what I'm saying? I got her lifestyle. See, so money could be his downfall, thinking that he got enough money to be rich off of doing anything he wants to other girls, to these chicks. You know, it's like the money is the power, but you know, they do have the power to do as the meek taking over the earth. The meek shall inherit the earth. They're gonna go to the right people and they're gonna bring you down and not you down the size. Now imagine when he was doing all of this overly overt actions towards her and being vindictive and being shitty and even peeing on her or whatever she's claiming. Imagine doing all this stuff to her and now she can sit back in her comfortable location and say, see, you know, now the table flip. Now the biggest dude in the game can get flipped by a little fried woman, just a little small person who he would have never even been in contact with unless he had to be on some foul shit his damn self, because apparently she was dating Ryan Leslie. He came over to p.diddy's spot with his woman at the time, Cassie, who was signed his label or dating him, and he comes over there to do a deal with Diddy, meet up with him. Diddy, obviously, in the room, making this girl look at him like, oh my God, I finally get to meet this guy. At the time, you know, he had the major credential and respect. So now she meet him, and it's like, oh my God. And then Diddy probably somehow reach out to her, or she reach out to him, or they see each other again. And then it's like, hey, ain't you, and it's like, yes. She feel like she came up. She's 17 years younger than him, 22. He like 39, 37. So now he older guy, he meeting this young chick, and she want to rock out with him with no problem. She ain't tripping. She like, this nigga got everything. He flying me here. He got money for this, that. She even hit him on the head like, hey, I need $5,000 from mom. He like, give her 10. She like, what the fuck? Oh my God, I just want to let this work. So you can imagine it could last 10 years if the woman is still trying to have those benefits, if she's still trying to win and have those things coming to her. That relationship could last 10 years or even more. But obviously relationships change. And so you can imagine if Diddy, because he's saying that, yo, she was just jealous that she wasn't Kim, which is the love of my life. Now you can imagine her being a bucker. If that's the angle, you can imagine her being a this grown-up chick, because imagine him inside the relationship saying to her inside the relationship, bitch, you ain't Kim. You ain't shut the fuck up talking to me. I only answer to Kim about that, you know, and all of it. And then Kim died. And then if you notice, after Kim died, that's when he left her. Kim passed on, and then he went and took his ass back home. He left all that shit alone and was like, okay, I'm no longer some playboy. Let me come home and get with my kids and get with my lady. He had a low-key name after that. You didn't see too much of Diddy after that. And then next thing you know, he popped back up, and she in jail. And they came at him so hard, it was like 30 seconds and his ass popped off, bing, 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 in jail. But he's smart, though, because he got them lawyers and he got that speedy trial. He ain't even been in jail for a year. And you and me both know motherfuckers who get arrested and they be in jail for years. They be in jail just sitting waiting. So he cold. They got to bring what they got. That's how you know he gonna beat the case, because what they got is not gonna be big enough to overwhelm the fact that his lawyers is eating away at them shits. You see these girls, they get up on that case, they got rebuttal from on Diddy's side, and you have to be able to prove what you're saying. And so for when Don Rich's girl get up there and said, I saw him hit her, why didn't you call the police? Why wouldn't you call the police the next day? Did you call to check up on her? Did you tell anybody else that can prove today that you told them this happened? It's too many ways to chop all them fucking statements up. And now you just seem like some person again who mad, just like everybody else, the billionaire you pissed off at. So
these physical assaults, and Don Richard pointed out names such as Harve Pierre, who used to be the president of Bad Boy, Mia, who we expect to be testifying as well too. She had worked for Diddy. Capricorn Clark had worked for Diddy as well too, and then she named other names like D-Rock and Bonds, who both worked security for Diddy. So I can kind of see where the prosecution was kind of painting that or amping that up as far as how the staff is involved in all of that sort. As far as 2010, just the following year, she says she witnessed another incident where they were all at a festival together up in Central Park. They were about to bring out Diddy's Dirty Money group, and that right before this had happened, or actually, excuse me, I am looking at the wrong incident. Sorry about that. But there was another incident in 2010 where they were having a dinner with a bunch of celebrities, and that Cassie and Diddy were kind of arguing a little bit secretly there, and Diddy punched her in the stomach, according to Don Richard. There, she said that at that dinner, they
told somebody to prove that.
former president of Bad Boy.
You keep stuff
D-Rock
like that a
Security,
secret.
Kalina
They come out
Harper,
of
who
the
used to
crowd.
work
It's too.
with Diddy's Dirty Money, Mia, who also worked with Diddy, and Bonds were all there during this dinner. And so then we kind of saw an exhibit photo of what Harp Pierre looked like. And so then there was another talk, and this is kind of where I bring up the Central Park incident, where there was an incident where Diddy had allegedly physically assaulted Cassie while they were getting ready for this festival, and that Cassie came into the bathroom, and that Kalina and Don kind of confided in her, or at least kind of helped her during this moment. They all kind of put on sunglasses and then just kind of carried on like usual. Meanwhile, Cassie's kind of nursing some
But
injuries,
what does any of
just
that have
behind
to
the
do with a
scenes.
RICO
Now, when it
trial?
came to the
Well, of course.
cross-examination, and there was just a lot of testimony going on today, so I'm trying to get you guys all my notes going on and everything like that. But once it came to the cross-examination, that was done by Nicole Westmoreland, and this was the first time we've kind of really seen her in action when it comes to this specific trial. And so first thing that Nicole Westmoreland's going to be asking her is just about her lawsuit, the lawsuit that she had filed just a few months ago against Diddy. And so she was asked about the demand letter that was I guess set up by her attorneys. She was asked about how many times she spoke with federal prosecutors, and she said she couldn't necessarily recall the amount of times that she had done it, but the defense kind of summed it up that she at least spoke with federal prosecutors 8 different times. They brought back the egg skillet incident where on Friday the defense was pointing out, you said that Cassie was cooling the eggs, and then Diddy comes downstairs and then he hits Cassie, or did he hit her, or did you see him hit her? Did you see that he had threw something at her? Was he like, it was really just kind of that quick and that much questioning kind of being thrown at her essentially. And then they brought up how it kind of compared to what she had said in her lawsuit just about the whole egg incident, and said that she didn't see the pan hit Cassie in the lawsuit. And then when she was asked essentially why she brought the lawsuit about, the defense was really kind of pointing at her. And I think this is something that, you know, anybody who had filed a civil claim against Diddy might be expecting this under the cross-examination, is what was their motivation in filing the lawsuit against the defense's client essentially. And so while Dawn at times was trying to say that she wanted justice and that she wanted to do the right thing, essentially, that the defense also pointed out, well, you did want compensation as well, too. And Dawn had to kind of own up and admit that she did want compensation for the time that she had worked on as an employee. Then the defense was asking her about her most recent communications with Diddy, going back as early or as soon as like 2020, 2021, where essentially Don was reaching out to Diddy himself, was trying to get in touch with people about this kind of whole making the band. I believe it's a reboot that they were trying to do where Diddy wasn't necessarily going to be a judge, but instead Don wanted to use that opportunity to work with somebody else named Lori Ann Gibson. And so the defense was really kind of hammering her just about the facts that she had talked about with federal prosecutors as far as the different meetings that she had had in 2024, on March 18th of this year, on April 17th of this year, again, just pointing out specifics as regards to this egg incident, but also at the same time going into specifics about whether or not she felt threatened to working with Diddy. And if she felt threatened, if she felt scared for her life, why did she continue reaching out to Diddy as late as 2020 or 2021? You know, as we ended direct examination on Friday, they were really kind of hitting on the point that after Dawn Richard and even her bandmate at the time, Kalina Harper, allegedly witnessed this physical assault with the whole egg skillet thing, because that's kind of how they were summing up this particular incident, was the egg skillet incident. She was asked on Friday, what did Diddy tell you the next day? And essentially Dawn had said that Diddy essentially said that people wind up missing when they question him and that type of thing, and that was perceived as a death threat. So then when the defense had their chance to kind of cross-examine her, they were like, well, why did you feel threatened, and yet you continue to want to work with him? And so the defense moments, Nicole Westmoreland really kind of hit it on the head. I think a lot of people were possibly wondering, did Dawn come off like a liar, or did she kind of over embellish some of these incidents? But to Dawn's accord and to Dawn on the witness stand, she was just saying, you know, she was trying to remember to the best of her ability. So it was kind of tough to watch, but at the same time, I think Dawn Richard held her own. She didn't, you know, kind of get.
Yeah, she white, and you want her to feel good.
Necessarily, she didn't get overly.
Raw lie. You can't come with fucking bullshit stories and think the lawyer's not going to find a way to ask you a question. The cross-examination is going to prove you lying.
I wish I had a little bit more time. Okay.
That just show you that bro lying like a motherfucker. They about to start back up in 5 minutes on the law. Man.
And Sean got jealous. She was trying to leave him. Agnophilia says, y'all were both using drugs? She says, no, we were in South Africa. Agnophilia says, did you learn about Gina?
It's crazy.
And Carrie says he was having a full-on relationship with this little girl. What? So why do you call her that? She acts like that. She's younger than us. Oh my God. Why they sneak this in on this? How old is she? Famous birthdays got her as, what is this, 33? And then how old is Cassie? Cassie age 38. Yo, nobody shames age shames more than women. Nobody age shames more than women, bro. Has Kerry Morgan ever done the interview?
Everybody be asking me, man, does the Bluetooth actually
So
work?
as you can see, the bro is all in there trying to spin all these goddamn conversation to the latter moments, to where she seemed like a victim. Everybody got to be a victim around Diddy, and that Don Richardson girl, that's a really big one because she's a white girl. So it'd be hard to lose. It'd be hard. She come out and say that Diddy did this. They're not gonna look at this in any other kind of way except it's the truth. That's all they're gonna say. They're gonna say that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? She's what the fuck reason would she lie? And that's what Diddy has a problem because a white girl, Hispanic chick, these are the people that's coming at him. So how is he gonna beat this shit? It's crazy. It's like you can't really know how. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Boy, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? It's like, how the fuck you gonna beat this shit? Yep, I'm looking at the actual inner city press breakdown because I told you that's the actual shit on X, Twitter, that shows you the breakdown of the case. You can't have cameras in there. You know what I'm saying? So either you can look at academics, look at their shit, or you can look at it yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's just different little stuff on Twitter that shows this case. But to this particular guy, he actually goes and does the breakdown, you know what I'm saying, blow by blow, particularly of the specific cases, you know what I'm saying. So he's doing it of Cassie scenario against Case and against Dude, you know what I'm saying. And again, what can you say? I think my shit's trying to tweak a little bit too, so my internet is in and out. But I'm gonna try to pull up the inner city press thing, and you can see how to look it up yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's on X, it's on Twitter. And this guy is really good. I mean, he is on it. He's at the shit. Everybody uses his information about it, you know what I'm saying? Because he's actually in court. You know what I'm saying? So for instance, you can see right here, he says, let me get back to it. Kerry Morgan. He was having a full-on relationship with this little girl. What's her name? Say Combs Agnophilia. Why do you call her that? Morgan. She acts like that. She's younger than us. So basically, this is just one of the people. Her name Kerry Morgan. She's on the stand. And they ask, and his lawyer is Agnophilia, and he's asking her questions. You know, so when you say Sean came and hammered on the door, why did the police come? Kerry Morgan. They said because of the noise. Agnophilia. What did they say to you, Morgan? Cassie was visibly injured, but she didn't say anything. So you know, is that then? This happened just 39 seconds ago. This just popped out today, 39 seconds ago. So you can see. It's a live update of the actual case. And so this is what he said 11 minutes ago. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court just gave the administration the okay to revoke special legal protections for him. And it's very, you know, obviously he's going to be talking about all that stuff that, you know, ain't got nothing to do with Diddy as well. But the Diddy situation, you can see it's like people are following it blow by blow and making sure they understand what's going on with his case because he actually might lose this and fuck around and go to prison. You know what I'm saying? And if he does, then that's a legacy going down the drain. And I'm sure he didn't think he was going to have to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? His legacy getting smacked around. Let me open the door for my lady. My chickadee. Yeah, so P. Diddy got a real hard situation above his pay grade right now, and they don't look like they trying to let up. So, you know what I'm saying? Just crazy right now for the bro. I'm gonna let a little bit more of this second half of this trial play out, and then we're gonna pop back on here and give some more information about what's going on. So you give me a little bit of time and let them do what they're gonna do with this case. Right now, it's not another update other than that last 39 seconds ago. So we gotta let them talk their smack, and then let old boy give us an update, and then I'll be back at y'all in a minute with some more updates on the Diddy trial. All right, holla at y'all in a minute. Thanks for watching.